The blade struck first. It sliced through the air with a vicious hiss, stopping just a breath away from her throat. She didn't flinch. That was the first thing that unsettled him. Most begged. Most trembled. Most collapsed before he even reached them. But she didn't. Rain soaked through her torn dress, clinging to her skin, her silver dark hair plastered across her face. Blood streaked her temple, dripping slowly down her jaw, yet her eyes, those strange, luminous eyes, held his without fear. Around them, the night burned. Fire devoured the enemy pack's territory, wolves howled in agony, and the scent of blood thickened the air like poison. His warriors moved behind him, finishing what he had ordered, total destruction. And still. She stood. Zyraethra. He didn't know her name yet. But his wolf did. Kill her, one of his generals muttered behind him. She's one of them. His fingers tightened around the blade. He should. He always did. Zyrenox Vhaldrake, the High Alpha of the Obsidian Dominion, did not hesitate. He did not question. Mercy was a weakness he had buried long ago. He leaned closer, the edge of the blade brushing her skin. Any last words? He asked, his voice low, lethal. Her lips parted slightly. For a moment, he thought she might beg. Instead, she whispered, barely audible over the storm, "You won't kill me." A dangerous silence followed. His eyes darkened. "You think I can't?" "No." Her gaze didn't waver. "I think you won't." Something in his chest twisted. Rage surged instantly, sharp and violent. He pressed the blade harder, just enough to draw a thin line of blood. "Test me," he said coldly. And then. His wolf moved. Not a growl. Not a snarl. A voice. Clear. Commanding. Unyielding. Mine. Zyrenox froze. The world seemed to collapse into silence. The screams, the fire, the rain, everything faded beneath that single word echoing in his skull. Mine. His grip faltered. His breath hitched. That had never happened before. His wolf, ancient, ruthless, bound by dominance and blood, had never spoken like that. Not in words. Not with intent. Not with emotion. "What did you just say?" Zyrenox whispered, more to himself than to her. The girl's brows furrowed slightly, confusion flickering across her face. "I didn't." Ilara. The name slipped through his mind like a ghost. Zyrenox staggered back as if struck. His blade lowered. His warriors noticed immediately. "My alpha?" One of them called cautiously. But Zyrenox wasn't listening. "Ilara," his wolf repeated, softer this time. "Possessive." "Certain." His gaze snapped back to the girl. "You," he said sharply. "What is your name?" She hesitated. For the first time, uncertainty crept into her expression. Zyraethra. The name hit him like a contradiction. Wrong. His wolf snarled, furious. "No. Ilara." Zyrenox's jaw clenched. "That is not her name." "It is," the wolf growled. "She belongs to us." A violent shudder ran through him. Belongs. Zyrenox had taken lands, taken lives, taken power, but never had anything been claimed like that inside him. Never had his wolf demanded something with such raw intensity. He looked at her again, really looked this time. She was trembling now, though she tried to hide it. Blood stained her skin, her breathing shallow, her body clearly exhausted. She was weak. Fragile. Insignificant. And yet. "Don't touch her." The command left his mouth before he realized it. One of his soldiers, who had stepped forward to seize her, froze instantly. "My alpha?" he asked, confused. Zyrenox didn't respond. He couldn't. Because his wolf was rising, pressing against his control, demanding, no, insisting. Protect her. It made no sense. She was the enemy. She should already be dead. Zyraethra swayed slightly, her strength finally giving way. For a moment, it looked like she might collapse. Without thinking, Zyrenox moved. His hand shot out, catching her before she hit the ground. The contact sent a jolt through him. Heat. Sharp. Sudden. Unavoidable. Her eyes flew open, locking onto his. For a heartbeat, neither of them moved. What? Are you? She whispered. The question struck deeper than any blade. Zyrenox's grip tightened unconsciously. I should be asking you that. Her lips parted, but no answer came. Behind him, tension thickened. My alpha, his general said carefully, she is a survivor of the enemy pack. We should finish this. Zyrenox didn't look away from her. Kill her. End it. Restore order. That was what he should do. That was what he had always done. But his wolf surged again, more violently this time. If she dies, we burn everything. Zyrenox inhaled sharply. The threat wasn't directed at the world. It was directed at him. You would defy me? He thought, fury rising. For her. The wolf answered. Always. The finality in that voice sent something dark and unfamiliar curling in his chest. Zyrenox had conquered kingdoms. He had broken alphas. He had never lost control. Until now. Slowly, deliberately, he lowered his blade completely. She lives, he said. Silence fell. Shock rippled through his warriors. My alpha. That is an order. No one argued again. They knew better. Zyrenox shifted, lifting Zyraethra into his arms. She tensed instantly, struggling weakly. Put me down, she said, her voice strained. I won't go with you. You don't have a choice. I would rather die. His eyes darkened. You want. Her gaze hardened. You don't control me. Something dangerous flickered in his expression. Don't I? But even as he said it, he knew something was different. Because for the first time in his life, he wasn't the one in control. His wolf was. And it wanted her. Badly. As he carried her through the burning ruins of her fallen home, Zyraethra's voice broke through the storm again, quieter this time. Why? She asked. Why didn't you kill me? Zyrenox didn't answer immediately. Because he didn't know how to. Finally, his voice came, low and rough. Because something in me refuses to. Her breath caught. And somewhere deep inside him, his wolf whispered again. Alara. We found you. Zyrenox's steps faltered for just a fraction of a second. Found? What did that mean? What was she? The question lingered, heavy and dangerous, as the flames behind them roared higher, consuming everything that had once been hers. And marking the beginning of something far more destructive. Rain hammered against the stone walls of the obsidian dominion as Zyrenox crossed the threshold of his fortress, her weight still in his arms, her presence still burning beneath his skin like something forbidden. The massive doors slammed shut behind him with a thunderous echo. Zyraethra stirred weakly, her fingers curling slightly against his chest as if testing whether he was real. Where? Are you taking me? She whispered. Somewhere you want die, he replied, his voice cold, though it lacked its usual certainty. I didn't ask to be saved. No one ever does. Her lips parted, as if she wanted to argue, but whatever. Strength she had left slipped away. Her head tilted against his shoulder, and her body went slack. Zyrenox stopped walking. For a moment, he just stood there, staring down at her. Unconscious. Vulnerable. Dangerous. His wolf stirred again, low and restless. Careful with her. His jaw tightened. She is nothing. A pause. Then the answer came, firm and unyielding. She is everything. Zyrenox exhaled slowly, forcing his emotions back into the iron cage he had built over years of war and bloodshed. He resumed walking, deeper into the fortress, where shadows clung to the walls and torches flickered like watchful eyes. Servants scattered at the sight of him. Not because of him. Because of what he carried. He could feel their fear. Their confusion. Their questions. But no one dared speak. He pushed open the doors to his private chamber and laid her carefully on the dark silk sheets of his bed. The contrast struck him immediately, her pale, blood-stained form against the cold luxury of his world. She didn't belong here. Neither did the strange pull twisting inside him. Send the healer, he ordered sharply as one of his guards lingered outside. Yes, my alpha. The door shut again, leaving him alone with her. Silence fell. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Zyrenox moved a step back, then another, as if distance might restore his clarity. It didn't. His eyes stayed on her. Her breathing was shallow but steady now. The blood at her temple had slowed, though it still stained her skin. Up close, he could see the faint markings along her collarbone, almost invisible, like something etched into her very soul. His gaze darkened. What are you hiding? He murmured. She is marked. His wolf's voice was quieter now, but no less certain. Zyrenox's eyes narrowed. I see no mark. You feel it. That, he could not deny. There was something about her. Something that unsettled the very foundation of who he was. A knock broke the silence. The healer entered quickly, bowing her head. My alpha. Fix her. The healer approached the bed cautiously, her hands hovering over Zyraethra as she assessed the damage. She has been through severe trauma, the healer said softly. And there is something unusual about her. Zyrenox's gaze sharpened. Explain. I cannot, the healer admitted. But her energy, it is different. Stronger than it should be for someone in her condition. Zyrenox didn't respond. He didn't need to. He already knew. Save her, he said again, more quietly this time. The healer nodded. You should leave, my alpha. I will take care of her. Zyrenox hesitated. Leaving was the logical choice. It was what he would normally do. But his feet didn't move. His wolf stirred again, restless. Stay. He clenched his jaw. I have never stayed. Then start now. Something in that answer unsettled him more than anything else. Without another word, he turned and left the room. But he did not go far. Time passed. Minutes. Hours. He did not know. Zyrenox stood on the balcony overlooking his territory, the storm still raging across the darkened sky. Lightning split the clouds, illuminating the lands he had conquered. Everything he saw belonged to him. Everything obeyed him. Except this. Behind him, the door opened quietly. My alpha, the healer said. Zyrenox didn't turn. Speak. She is awake. His heart, traitorous, unfamiliar, skipped once. Good, he said flatly. But he was already moving. Zyraethra's eyes snapped to him the moment he entered. Fear flickered there first. Then something else. Recognition. You, she said, her voice rough. You brought me here. Zyrenox stopped a few steps away, his presence filling the room like a storm ready to break. You're alive, he replied. Her lips curved slightly, though there was no humor in it. Disappointing, isn't it? His eyes darkened. Careful. Or what? She challenged, pushing herself up despite the healer's protest. You'll finish what you started? The tension between them snapped tight. Zyrenox stepped closer, slow and deliberate. If I wanted you dead, you would be. Then why am I not? She shot back, her voice rising. Why bring me here? Why keep me alive? He didn't answer immediately. Because the truth was not something he could explain. Instead, he leaned in slightly, his voice dropping. You tell me. Her breath hitched. I don't know what game you're playing, she said, quieter now, but I am not part of it. You already are. Silence fell again. Heavy. Charged. Zyraethra's gaze searched his, as if trying to find something beneath the cold exterior. Your eyes. She whispered. They changed. Zyrenox stilled. What? They're not just yours, she said slowly. There's something else in them. His wolf stirred, pleased. She sees us. Zyrenox's expression hardened instantly. You're imagining things. No, she said firmly. I felt it. Back there. When you looked at me. It was like something recognized me. A dangerous quiet settled over him. Enough. But she didn't stop. Who are you? She demanded. What are you? The question echoed in the room. Zyrenox's patience snapped. In a single step, he closed the distance, his hand slamming against the wall beside her head. You don't ask the questions here. Zyraethra didn't flinch. Even now. Even with him towering over her. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Then answer the one you're afraid of. His breath stilled. What? Am I to you? The world seemed to tilt. For a moment, just a moment, Zyrenox had no answer. Because the truth was something far more dangerous than either of them understood. His wolf surged forward, forcing the words into his mind. Ours. Zyrenox's jaw clenched. He pushed away from her abruptly, as if distance might restore his control. This conversation is over. No, she said, her voice breaking slightly now. It's just beginning. Something in that tone, something fragile, something real, cut deeper than it should have. Zyrenox paused at the door. You will stay here, he said without turning. Until I decide what to do with you. I am not your prisoner. A cold smile touched his lips. Everyone in my world is. The door shut behind him. But her voice lingered in his mind. And so did the question. What was she to him? The answer came again, relentless. Ours. Zyrenox closed his eyes briefly, exhaling through clenched teeth. This was not over. Not even close. Because whatever had begun that night in blood and fire was only just starting to unravel. And he had the growing, dangerous feeling that he was no longer the one in control. And this is only the beginning. Because in part 2, the truth about Zyraethra's past will be revealed. And what Zyrenox discovers might destroy everything he's built. So tell me. Backhand index pointing right, do you think she's really his mate? Backhand index pointing right, or something far more dangerous? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want to see what happens next, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because part 2 gets even darker.